Good afternoon, Dynamites. We are super excited to be hosting you guys today for this Young and Dynamic session. I hope you guys had a wonderful week and I hope that the week was kind to you and very productive. So my name is Sidrin Mashanda and I'm going to be your host for today. I would like to welcome you, Dynamites, our HLF and Delta staff members and executives who are joined with us in this meeting today from all over the world. Thank you so much for sparing your time and sacrificing your time to be with us. So as usual, we have our ground rules or housekeeping issues. So make sure that you have your notepad and your pen so that you can write down or jot down some notes when we have our speakers speaking. Also make sure that your mic is always muted at all times unless you're asked to unmute and speak. And then make sure that your video is switched off so that it's switched off when you exit the room and you can always switch it back on when you enter the room. And let's make noise in our chat box, guys, so that we can, post our comments, our questions, and we'll definitely address those questions. So at this moment in time, I would love to invite Talent, who is going to be our prayer leader, to lead us in the session of prayer. Over to you, Talent. Talent, can you hear me? And are you in the meeting so that you can lead us in prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, the creator of this universe, we give a journal of gratitude for the wonders you are doing in our life. Heavenly Father, as we're about to start this session, Heavenly Father, may you remember your children to come in numbers. In the mighty name, Heavenly Father, may you remember them so that they will apply it in the mighty name. And I say, thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful and beautiful prayer. So today, guys, as the Young and Dynamic team, we join the rest of the world in commemorating the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. And yeah, we are so excited to be having you guys on this session. So I'm going to kindly ask our tech team to play for us a video where we have women who are talking about how it looks like being in science.
My name is Sicelo Dube, passionately known as the STEM Lady. I am all about advancing science, technology, engineering, and maths, education, innovation, and entrepreneurship amongst our students, our youth. I represent the OSA STEM Knowledge Network as a member, an active member representing Zimbabwe. I strongly believe that for us to cover the gender gap in STEM, we need to be deliberate about telling our stories as women. I am the STEM lady because I want women to be inspired. I want the little girls to know that there is a STEM lady, a woman who's doing great in STEM, who's Black, who's Zimbabwean, who's like them. Then they can relate. So I think the biggest issue is that our girls are failing to relate to this big field of STEM because they don't have role models. We can never overemphasize the need for telling our stories as women. And I'd like to encourage and challenge women out there. Let's go out there and tell our stories. We've got great stories to tell. I was an orphan at a young age, but look at me, I'm the STEM lady today. So there is nothing socio-cultural that can stop you from achieving your goals. STEM is not for boys. The girls can do what the boys can do even better. I always say that to the girls. And it's high time that as women in STEM, we take up mentorship as an active part of our everyday life. Mentor someone, tell your story to someone. Let's encourage the girls to take up careers in ICT. The future is digital. And if the young people are the future and the women are at the forefront of this, we need more girls so that we are guaranteed that Africa's future is as bright and as brilliant as we want it to be. We can not stop talking about training teachers. young girls, they aspire to be like teachers. The teachers need to be knowledgeable about the many careers that are there. Growing up in the rural areas, you notice that the only people that you wanted to be like was the teacher and the nurse. This is all that you knew. Now, the girls in town, they have technology. They are on the internet. They are searching. They're learning more about careers. But let's look at the girls in the rural areas. Let no one be left behind. Let's have the teachers trained. We need more money and more financial budgets that are structured such that there's capacity building at the core of all this, because we need to train the trainer, we need to train the teachers. They spend the most time with the little girls. The girls need to be educated by people who are educated on the careers in STEM. Last but not least, on the issues of inspiring the girls to take up STEM and for us to cover this gender gap, we need to make sure that the social cultural norms don't come our way. We need to go as far as educating the parents. Let's have the parents who tell good stories about wanting their girls to be doctors, aircraft engineers, pilots. Let the parents make sure that the girls don't feel this is for boys, this is for girls. Let's buy the girls those toys that that are digital. Let's not buy the girls dollies all the time, and the boys, we buy them the computers and the PlayStation. Let the girl also know that they can fix the bulb. Let the girl also know that they can do all those things that at home we're saying this is for the boys, the hard things are for the boys. Why? Let's change that narrative. The girls can do what the boys can do, even better, and we need the parents to be involved, because the girls will always listen and do as mommy says and as daddy says. We have a lot of work to do as far as gender parity in STEM, and everyone has a very important role to play. It begins with you. Women empowerment is a topic very close to my heart, because I believe that for a woman to have power, they need to be empowered, right? For a woman to have power, they need to have buying power. And what I've noticed is that women in science, technology, engineering, and maths, they only think that their science is working for them in the laboratory. But it's high time we took the science in the laboratory to the community. It is not science till it's in the community. And as women in STEM, we have a big role to play in sustainable development and in making sure that the livelihoods in our community are better. So it's important for us to educate the women on technologies that can get their products out there into the market. Let's have the women in science learn more about digital platform, e-commerce. We cannot overemphasize on the need to trade globally, on the need to trade and take advantage of the Free Africa Trade Zone. So what are we doing in terms of that? I've seen a lot of initiatives where women are being taught how to code, where women are being taught how to sell their products online. But I think there's more that is needed, more funding that is needed towards this, so that we really have one Africa Trade Zone where women in science are taking their products from the lab to the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our tech team, for playing that amazing video for us. So fortunately for us today, we are joined by a woman in science who is here to tell her story. Her name is Neditanga. Neditanga is a young graduate industrial engineer. She is passionate about women and youth empowerment. She is also a talk show host for Transformational Talks with Neditanga, which seek to empower young people to change their mindset and to change their lives. She is also a brand ambassador for a social media platform called Andaro Online. She is also the founder of Connect with Mentors, an organization that mainly focuses on mentorship and career guidance. She also runs mentorship programs that mainly focus on the vision and the SMART goal setting and having an action plan. She is a philanthropist at heart, and she is passionate about the less privileged. Since 2021, she has been working with Christ Ministries Children's Home, seeking donations and having empowerment programs that help the children survive when they leave the children's home. She was awarded an award by Purple Trust and Next Insane Forum for being active in science in 2018. She is the third runner-up career coach award. She is the third runner-up career coach award by ICMF in 2020. She has a certificate from Ignite Youth for Girl Child Empowerment in 2020. She is also the second runner-up entrepreneurship coach from ICMF 2021. She's also the first runner-up coach of the year, ICMF Awards 2023. I'm so excited to have Nedi Tanga as a woman in science who is going to be talking us through her journey. Over to you, Nedi.
Thank you so much to our MC. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Coach Nedi. Maybe currently the tech person can start my presentation. And I'm very excited to be sharing with you my science journey. Maybe just as a highlighter, I feel like my journey is not the typical, science journeys for everyone. Mine is a bit different. So as we proceed, I'm just going to share with you my background. So my background, I'm a certified life coach with Transformational Academy. So you can also Google it online. You do the course online. I'm also an industrial engineer by profession. So I did my industrial engineering at HIT. We're a class of 2020, as I like to call ourselves the COVID babies, because we finished the last part of our semester at home because of COVID. And also I've been quite fortunate to be part of so many leadership positions. Like, for example, my leadership journey started when I was in high school. So to those who learned at Marist Dete, I was the head girl for 2020 for 2013, and those who learned at Kwekwe High, I was also the vice head girl for the class of 2015, and those who learned at HIT, I was also the secretary for gender equity during my SRC time, and also I've been quite privileged to be part of so many organizations. So as we proceed, I'm going to take you through also my background. So like I said, I did my O-level at Marist Dete. So to those who might be wondering, where is Dete? Dete, it's along Victoria Falls Road. So it's Dete, Wange, then Victoria Falls. So I did my Form 1 to Form 4 there. It was a secondary school by then. So I was quite fortunate by then. So we're the first class to be screened for sciences, of which we had to choose in Form 2 the combinations that we wanted, and of which the criteria that I used to pick out sciences, it's quite a funny one. So the unfortunate part for me, when I did my secondary school, my sister also did her secondary school at the same institution. So to those who also learned at the same institutions as their siblings, they understand the kind of pressure that you feel, especially if the sibling is someone who is very, very intelligent. So, and it also happened that she wrote her A-level and she managed to come up with 15 points. So I thought to myself, if I do commercials right now, I'm going to be under a lot of fire. I know it sounds silly now that I think of it, but by then it was like one of the major factors. So I was left on choosing between arts and commercials. So I realized I wasn't quite good with the art side. So that's how I managed to pick sciences. And of which for me it was quite nice doing sciences also. And also I was like I said, I was also the head coach during that time. So I had lots of pressure constantly that I had to juggle between leadership and secondary school. And also one of the things that stood out in my secondary school was I was very, very good at maths, not because I was intelligent, but I mastered the art of writing corrections. So I was that someone who would ask, and I would also play around with people who understood mathematics a lot. So that's where I would beat them. So I knew exactly what would make me pass. And I can safely say I managed to get the maths prizes from Form 2 up to Form 4. So when it comes to my high school, it was also like that transition. So I remember when I received my O-level results, I cried because I got 3 A's, I think 5 B's and 2 C's. I wasn't quite happy with that. And I cried. And I told myself, there's an opportunity for me to start afresh. So when I went to a new school, that is Kwekwe High, life was good because, when you're at a new school, no one really knows you. You start on a fresh page and you also begin to also rediscover yourself. And I was also still good at mathematics. And I also managed to join leadership there as well. Being part of A-level, it was quite nice for me, honestly. But the downside of being a student at Kwekwe High is we didn't have any science teachers. So I had to mainly rely on extra lessons during holidays. So without those extra lessons, I wouldn't have managed to come up with the points that I came out with when it comes to O level. So I managed to come up with 10 points. And I also feel like one of the greatest mistakes that I did, so to any high school students that are part of the platform, and I feel like this is like one of the worst mistakes I did was to be in a relationship during that time. And I feel like if I wasn't in a relationship during that time, I think I would have done better. It's just my opinion. So the A-level results came out. This time I didn't cry because I knew the situation that I was coming from. I didn't have any teachers. So for someone who didn't have teachers at school, I did quite well for 10 points. Then the struggle came. So if you notice, from secondary to high school, we didn't have like any proper career guidance at all. So for me, it was mainly, if I hear, let's say, electrical engineering, I'll be very excited about electrical engineering. Then the next time I hear less about chemical engineering, I'll be very excited about chemical engineering. But one thing that I knew for sure when I applied for uni was electronic engineering was not my thing, because when I did the electronic module at A level, I could not comprehend at all. So it's one thing that I avoided. So when I applied, what I did was I was just going through those, those papers when you're applying. So I would look for places where it was written maths, physics, and any other. Maths, physics, and any other. And this is also why I was also an advocate for career, because I believe if I had proper career guidance, I would have made the best decisions when it comes to career. But do I really regret doing industrial? No, I do not regret doing industrial. But when I started my first lesson at our Institute of Technology, I didn't know what the program was all about, to be honest. So as I proceed, I'm just going to share with you my uni life, how it was for me. And so the first point is life on campus. I was quite, like I said, hit compared to other institutions. Yet it's like a small community compared to UZ, CAT, and NAST. So if you're someone who's very grounded, you do very well. So when it comes to me, life on campus was quite good. But obviously, there were certain pressures. Like, for example, I really struggled with my first year because of engineering drawing. The physical part, it was very difficult for me. I remember I almost gave up. And the projects were also quite difficult, and also it hit, we did about 11 modules, so there was a lot of pressure. So you'd find yourself most of the time you'll be writing assignments and to also be attending lectures. And also when it comes to the lectures, for us it was very important to attend, because if you find out from people who went at it, like industrial engineering is like the core engineering at the institution. So attending lectures, it was quite mandatory. Like personally, I didn't have the privilege to not to attend lectures, because I learn very fast when I'm listening in class. And also I learn very fast if I'm seated at the front. You never see me at the back. And also I was quite fortunate that most of our lecturers, they were very supportive, because it was only 4 girls in our class out of 32 boys. So they were very supportive. Even when I joined SRC, like literally everyone was supportive. And also when it comes to attachment, I did my attachment at Wangem power plant. It was quite an interesting experience. All I can say is I appreciated industrial engineering, especially on the maintenance side. I appreciated it on a very different level, because you realize that most of the stuff that we do at the plant is mainly maintenance stuff. And also one of the things that I would want to encourage to those who might find themselves maybe going for attachment this year, know why you are on attachment. I think that's the most important part, because the environment there, you get carried away at some point, but it is important to understand that you are there to learn. And also attachment is where you realize your career path at most. So you learn to appreciate parts of the stuff that you like about your degree. And for me, I realized that I wasn't a shift worker. I hated shift working, because I'm someone who likes to have my continuous sleep, my routine, and of which when it comes to shift work, you really don't have a routine, because one day you're working 1 to 8, the next day you're working in the morning. And maybe the last part was the challenges that I faced at uni. One of the challenges was projects. For me, projects were quite difficult because there was too much pressure when it comes to, especially the final year projects. And I remember in my final year, I wasn't feeling well. And also some of us were interrupted with COVID. So imagine you're learning online and there's no electricity, you don't have internet. So it was quite a bag of mixed emotions when it comes to my campus life. But above all, I honestly really enjoyed being at uni. It was eye-opening, and usually what I tell people is you don't go to university to only get your degree, but you also go to university to also discover yourself, who you are. That is where I actually discovered that I was more into empowerment, and I was also very good at public speaking. And as I proceed, my words of encouragement to anyone who's listening today is, especially, it doesn't matter what stage you are, you need to be a person of character. Your character is very, very important. And it's also important that you understand who you are, the things that you are good at, and your bad traits. It also help you to manage them. Like I realized I'm a very talkative person, and I realized that the more I talk, it's either I'm going to spread gossip or I'm going to spread motivation. And I chose motivation along the way. So when you understand who you are and when you become a person of character, it will definitely guide you. And I am where I am today because of mentorship. There are men and women were very willing to mentor me. And my encouragement is have a mentor, look for someone to mentor you. Don't just like a program because you like the idea of the program. Go an extra step, talk to someone who's in the field, ask them to mentor you. If you can go at their workplace, the better, so that you have a better understanding of the program. And also, one of the things that kept me grounded when I was uni was good company. Your friends would determine where you go in life. And it's also important to realize that when you're done with high school, secondary school, or uni, you go your separate ways. So if you are busy misbehaving with your friends, always remember that you come from different backgrounds. As soon as you're done with your uni, life changes. So it's also important to have good company, and also even support from friends, family, and lecturers. It doesn't matter where you get the support, but just make sure it's good support that will also help you to discover who you are. And I also encourage, that doesn't necessarily mean if you are in sciences. I know there's this rigid mind when it comes to sciences, do sciences, focus on books. I'm not saying don't focus on books, but I'm also saying you are a human being. You've got gifts, you've got talents, also pursue them in the process of also doing your degree. Because at the end of the day, what makes a whole human being, it's the will of life, like this, your social life, your finance life, they all contribute to that. And also be a person who has values and boundaries. To those who are in uni, you know what I'm talking about, because for most people who stay on campus, you don't have your parents, you don't have anyone who's monitoring you. Your values and boundaries will definitely keep you grounded. So it's also even very important part of your journey. And also be involved with a God-fearing community. I think part of my uni was quite successful because I had a community that I was part of. I had a church that I went to, and I also encourage people to be part of a God-fearing community. And to those who are still in secondary school and high school, let's learn to take career guidance very seriously. It is your responsibility to go an extra mile. If you like industrial engineering, find out more about industrial engineering. If you like IT, find out more about IT. And maybe just to add on some of the points that I didn't manage to add on the slide, join communities. I was part of ZETA-IE, and I was also part of OWSD, and I was also part of LF8 when I was at uni. Those are such organizations, especially when you're part of sciences, they'll help you to discover more of the opportunities that exist in the science organization. Like, for example, with OWSD, you realize that they also even offer scholarships for masters and PhD. And also understand where you're going, have goals, have your vision. If you want to work outside, it's good, but make sure what you're doing now will definitely help you to achieve what you need in the future. And my last point as I conclude, I definitely want to encourage everyone to take advantage of social media and the internet. Don't be there always on TikTok. There's a lot that you can do on social media. You can build a name for yourself. You can build a brand for yourself. You can connect with fellow scientists and fellow engineers. Otherwise, I wish you the best. And to those who are still at school and those who even are still at uni, there's a whole life ahead of you. Take the opportunities that you have to understand who you are, because once you're done with school, the world is not a very kind place. It doesn't take people with confusion very lightly. So if you understand who you are and you take all the opportunities that you have, you realize that your life will move in certain directions. Otherwise, thank you so much for having me. I now hand over to the MC.
Thank you so much, Coach Nedi, for your amazing presentation. We love to see our women and our girls winning. I'm not so sure if we have some questions in the chat box, but if there's anyone who has a question for Coach Nedi, may you kindly raise your hand so that we can unmute you and you can speak, or you can post your question. Okay, there's one question here. It says, are you ever intimidated or threatened by the gender imbalance in the STEM field? And if so, how do you deal with those feelings?
Okay, as for me, I was quite fortunate because I've got a strong personality. So one of the things that I actually encourage most women is you need to learn to stand your ground. You need to know what you believe in. And you need also to be very sure of yourself. Because when I was on attachment, almost in every department that I went to, I was the only woman that was there. So as we also talk about women empowerment, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be given everything for free because you're a woman. It also means you need to participate in the events that are being done so that you understand the engineering profession. And like I said, in our class, there were only 4 women out of 32 guys. But one thing that I understood was we are paying the same fees, we're listening to the same lecturers. So I have everything that will make me succeed. So it goes back to understanding who you are as a person and also learning to speak out when it's necessary. Personally, I never allow bullying. Maybe I'm the one who actually bullied people, I don't know. But I hope you answered.
Yes, I think the question is answered. Thank you so much. Another question here is saying, how did you go about choosing an institution for attachment, and what are some of the pointers you would give to someone looking for attachment but without connections?
Okay, so to be honest, being part of Wange Power Plant, I was quite fortunate because I knew someone, to be honest. But all I can say is the reason why I knew this person is because this person get deferred. So he was part of he was part of our program, but he wrote like years back. And we managed to be in the same class. So I would network, and I would also talk about I stay in data, and I would like to have a place that is close to home. So it also goes to part of networking. Like your network is your net worth. So some of the pointers is you really need to understand. So personally, I liked maintenance. Maintenance was quite an adventure for me. So I knew Wange Power Plant would offer that. And also when I was picking an institution, I wanted somewhere which was very close to home. So what I would advise is also, even I got some assistance from my lecturers. Talk to your supervisors, talk to your lecturers. Those people are there for you and they're there to assist you. And I hope you answered.
I hope those guys who are asking this question are answered, those who are ready to go for attachment. I think in your academic journey, did you ever fail? And if you did, how did you deal with it?
Okay, I never failed
Okay.
because one of the things that I was very sure of, I was quite fortunate that industrial engineering, to those who are doing it, it's mainly physics. So the iron of it, A-level, I failed physics, but in uni, I was excelling very much in physics. So one of the things that made me to excel was, like I said, friends. I had studied friends. one of the things that we'd do with our friends would also have our own lectures. Like, would look for someone who knows a certain topic and they would actually teach us. So when it comes to uni, you need to understand you are working as a community, not as an individual. Like, don't be selfish. If you've got information, share with others and they'll also share with you. So I think what made me succeed, mathematics, especially part 2, it was quite difficult. But I managed to pass because there were some people from our circle who were willing to take us through those programs. So I don't know if you're answered, but remember, there's no prize giving day at university. You just learn to work with others, because even as you go to work, you also need to learn to work with others. I don't know if they are answered.
I'm sure they're answered, and what I picked from that is don't be stingy with information.
Don't be
Okay,
stingy.
so thank you
Sometimes
so
may be
much.
stingy with the wrong information.
That's true. That's so true. Thank you so much, Coach Nedi, for your amazing presentation. We're excited to be having you on this platform. So at this moment in time, we are going to be joined by Miss O and Audrey Taruvinga, who are going to be having an interactive session, interacting on girls in STEM. So let's make some noise in the chat box as we welcome the one and only, the amazing Miss O and Audrey, who is also like a radiographer student, a radiography student at NAST, who is doing her part 3 currently. Welcome, Miss O. I hand this over time to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, MC. You're doing an amazing job. So brilliant. But before I speak to Audrey, Panashe Pemiwa has his hand up. His hand had been up for a while. Panashe, do you want to ask a question before we move ahead?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the amazing presentation. So my question is, as a boy with a girlfriend who's in STEM, how can I support you? Thank you.
Did you not hear what Coach said about relationships?
Should I answer that, MC?
Yes, please go ahead and answer.
Okay, from my experience, the best way you can support someone is to help them understand the value of time. Because when I was doing engineering, personally, we had lots and lots of modules. So one of the things that I would find myself doing is studying. So if you're a boyfriend who's got a girlfriend in sciences, understand that study time is very important. And also understand that when they tell you that they are busy, they are really busy with school. Because for me, the first year, second year, and third year, I never really had that opportunity to like really breathe, because I had 11 modules on my shoulders, and also even allowed them to vent, because personally I like venting. I like complaining that school is hard. Allow them to complain and also encourage them to work hard, and even do a task on goal settings. You can have a vision board together so that you understand where they want to go, and always remind them that if it is being a certified engineer, if you really want to be a certified engineer, that means you need to pass this. And also even remind them, like at YIT, if you wanted to proceed to final year, you needed to pass first year mathematics. So it's those little things, and even buy them Valentine's presents, since Valentine is coming. Otherwise, I hope you answered. It's all about support and also understanding where you're going. Iwewe also as an individual, and also your girlfriend as an individual, so that you support each other. That is what is important.
Thank you so much, Coach Nedi. I see the people here still want to doom Jolo, so thank you for answering that. I'll hand this over back to Miss O.
Thank you so much, MC, and thank you, Coach. I think when we say, and thank you, Panashe, for your question. Actually, it was a really good question. I was just being funny. But when we say as women, we want allies, we want men to be our allies, this is what we mean. You know, he's concerned about his girlfriend who's in STEM. How can he help? So well done. Well done, Panashe. This is what we mean when we say men, you need to be our allies when it comes to women empowerment. So thank you so much. So as we move forward with our program, I think I'm not sure if most of you know that International Day of Women in Science is observed on February the 11th, which is tomorrow. But because we have YND today, we decided to celebrate today a day in advance. And the date was chosen specifically, to honor the birthday of Madame Marie Curie. I'm sure a lot of you who are in STEM know who Marie Curie is. She's a pioneering physicist, a chemist, who made groundbreaking contributions to the fields of radioactivity and nuclear physics. And she remains an inspirational figure for women in science. And we have our own inspirational woman in science who's just joining us right now. Her name's Audrey. Audrey Taringa is doing radiography. So I'm just going to ask her a few questions. And then if you guys have any questions for Audrey, you can either put them in the chat box or you can put your hand up and ask your questions. So Audrey, my first question to you is, what sparked your interest in STEM fields?
Okay, just to greet everyone. Hello, everyone. My
Oh, we're losing Audrey. Audrey, are you still there? Oh, we can't hear Audrey. Do we have any other girls in STEM who are connected? What interested you in STEM? Why did you decide to become a STEM girly? What made you choose to do science subjects, whatever it is? If you're here, please unmute, or you can write in the chat box. Let's have the conversation. I know we have a lot of STEM girlies online. While Audrey tries to log back in. Do we have any girls who did science or who are doing science right now who want to talk about the experience? Like, what made you want to do STEM? What interested you in STEM? So there's no one here who's doing STEM. I am not a STEM girly. I did the basic, the arts, but with arts, you can enter any field of life. You can do anything. Oh, we have Prudence. Prudence, please unmute and tell us as STEM girly. And Modesta, we have quite a few. Okay, girls, please unmute and tell us what made you, choose STEM subjects.
Okay, so for me, it was because it was difficult. The fact that it was difficult was the thing that motivated me. I felt like since it was considered like the most difficult thing at that time, and even now, I felt like I could do it too, since it's not just a man thing. If men can do it, and this is the difficult thing, I can do it too. That was the thing that interested me.
That's absolutely amazing. I love to hear that you wanted that challenge. So what are you studying, or what did you study, Prudence? What STEM subjects did you study? While we wait for her to respond, we have Modesta, who's also a STEM girly. Can you please unmute and let us know why you chose STEM subjects?
Okay, I think as the one was talking before, I'm the one who said I chose it because it was difficult, and
Okay.
I wanted to feel challenged. I wanted to do something that made me feel challenged. I didn't want to do something that just made me relax. I wanted something that would motivate me. And as for the subjects that I did in A level, I was doing for the STEM, I was doing maths and physics and further maths and chemistry. And yeah, I think for the STEM subjects, that's what I was doing.
Okay, so what are you doing now? Are you in university? What are you doing now?
Yeah, now I'm in university. I'm doing medicine right now.
Okay, great. And then we have Vimbai Nashe, whose hand is also up. After Vimbai, I need Grace Mashingaidze, who's at NAST Medical School, to be ready to unmute. So Vimbai, please tell us why you decided to do STEM subjects.
All right. Hello, everyone. I decided to do STEM subjects because there was excellency associated with doing STEM subjects whilst I was still in high school. Like doing sciences was associated with some excellence to it. And then also, I always liked fixing things. So already I could feel that I would I would thrive more in physics and math more than I would thrive in commercials. The question of us wasn't even close to me because I didn't like writing essays and all those things. And then now currently I'm doing industrial engineering at UZ. I chose industrial engineering because it was one of the engineering programs which has production, manufacturing, as well as business to it. So I could see that it is a wholesome program to do. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
when
you.
I hear industrial engineering, all I see is these big machines making a lot of noise. That's what industrial engineering is to me. So please, can you explain to us, what does industrial engineering entail? When you say that, what does it entail?
Okay. So industrial engineering, it entails optimization of processes. So
Okay.
usually now it's optimization of manufacturing processes. So like, for example, you are producing Mazoe Orange Crush, and then I'm just optimizing on how we can produce Mazoe Orange Crush in a cheaper manner. So that's how it is. And then now that's when maintenance is included, because when your machine is not working, it becomes more expensive for you to produce your product. So yeah, that's basically what it entails.
Interesting, very interesting. I've actually learned something new today. I had no idea what industrial engineering is, but that sounds really interesting. And I also really like Mazoe. So yeah, that was a good example. And then we have Grace Mashingaidze, who is doing who is at the NUST Medical School. Please, your question that I'm going to ask is, can you share a project or research experience that you found, exciting or really challenging? And how did you manage to, work through that project and get it done? All the other STEM girlies can also answer this question if they want to. If Grace hasn't unmuted yet, and I see Audrey is not back. We really want to hear from Audrey. So all the girls who are doing STEM, is there a project that you had to do and it was really difficult? You didn't know what to do, but you managed to do it anyway. And then is there one that really excited you, that you really think about? And then the boys and the men who are in the room, let us know how you're also supporting girls in STEM. What are you doing? Are you talking to your sisters? Are you, letting them know that girls can do science subjects too? Girls can do this. Are you guys encouraging your siblings, your nieces? Are you encouraging them to take STEM subjects as well? Panache, you can speak. You can unmute.
Okay, thank you very much. I was actually waiting for this question. So for me, to be specific, it's something that we actually had to understand, that we live in a world in which we are all connected, and what I can do, a girl can also do. So to support, the girls that I interact with, or even, let me just say, maybe the girls that are in my circle, you also need to make sure that the material that you are using, you're also giving them. You also need to make sure that the things that we as the boys are doing, the girls are also doing it. So it's just a matter of understanding, the environment, and also give them the same things that you are using. So basically that's what you're doing, and also if we see an opportunity, not only in STEM, but we also encourage them to apply, and say, this is what you can go for. So basically that's what you're doing, to involve them in our group discussion and say, guys, go and present. We actually push them in class. Some of them, they don't like to talk, right? So in class, we actually say, go and present. You're the one who's presenting. And, sometimes usually they get all the credit. So yeah, thank you.
That's really amazing, Panache. We love to see that. We love to see the boys supporting the girls. And yeah, is there anyone else who would love to share on what they're doing to support the women who are in STEM at the moment? If you are there, please raise your hand.
Grace, I see Grace has her hand up. Grace, please, can you, the question was, can you share a project or research experience that you found, exciting or challenging? And please introduce yourself, tell us what you do, or which STEM subjects you're taking.
Okay, good afternoon, Mrs. O. I hope you're well. My name
Where you
is
can,
Grace.
we want to see your beautiful and handsome faces, please.
Okay, I'll try to switch on my video. Let me look for a proper spot. But then, my name is Grace Machinga. I'm doing medicine at last.
Okay, Dr. Grace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in fourth year now. Fourth year. So I can't really say research project because we haven't really started doing much of research, but I would like to share an experience that I've found to be interesting because I was hesitant initially when we started our surgery rotations. You know how now I'm doing medicine and I'm now exposed to a lot of sick people with so many wounds, and there's just a lot that's to take in. But then, like, with time, I ended up, I have a couple of friends who are males who've been really encouraging to us. So I think that it's important to have these male friends of us coming and saying, you guys can do this too as well, because it was difficult initially, but with a lot of encouragement from the surroundings, from my family, from my parents, it's been an amazing journey, really. I sometimes consider doing surgery.
Well done. We're so proud of you, Dr. Grace, and all the people who are in Dr. Grace's class. So for Valentine's Day, I know you all are excited about Valentine's Day. Buy your girlfriends, buy your colleagues, your female colleagues, buy them a meal for Valentine's Day, guys. You know, university gets tough sometimes. You don't even have money for food. Instead of buying flowers cannot be eaten. Buy them food so that they are full. They're able to go for lectures. They're able to, they're able to forge ahead because already they're in a male-dominated industry and it's really hard for them. So please make it as easy for them. If you see, a STEM girlie sitting on her own, go and say hi, be friends with her, share notes. You heard what Coach said. Coach said, make sure that, there were no science lecturers at her school. But do you know what she did? She went for science extra lessons. You guys, if you put your money together, you can put money together, hire an extra lesson teacher or whoever, and make sure that you involve the STEM girlies. I can see that our STEM girl, Audrey, is back. Audrey, are you ready for the questions? While Audrey's getting ready, I see Leroy has his hand up. Leroy, you can unmute. While we wait for Audrey, I see Audrey is already unmuted. Leroy, are you still there? There's a lot of STEM girls in the chat. If you look, there's a lot of girls who are saying, I'm a STEM girly. Well done. We are really proud of the STEM girlies. We are so excited for you girls and the things that you're going to do. This is how we change the world, guys. One girl at a time. In the future, it will be so awkward to hear that there's only 2 girls who are STEM girlies. Everyone will be a STEM girly. So, if Leroy is not going to unmute, I'm going to go back to Audrey. Audrey, I'm so happy to see your beautiful face so that we can carry on with our questions. So first, can you just tell everyone what you are doing? Which STEM field have you chosen?
Okay, sorry guys, I had a big major cut.
No worries.
back.
Technology and electricity sometimes don't know how to behave.
Okay, fine. So I'm doing radiography by NAST. So radiography is a division that is in the medical field that is mainly focused on radiology, which is mainly the imaging part of medicine, where you look at X-rays, CT scan, MRI, and ultrasound, basically all the imaging that is done before a patient can get help. Soon after they leave a doctor, when a doctor requests scans, they come to us. That's basically radiography.
Okay, so what made you, that's very interesting. What made you even consider, doing radiography? Because most of us, the laymen who are not STEM girlies, STEM is being a doctor, but you did not want to be a doctor. You want to be a radiographer. What led you to that path?
Okay, fine. My story is a bit different because after I did my A-level by Regina Mundi High, I applied to NUST, but my first choice was medicine because I didn't have like career guidance. So I only thought if you want to be in the medical field, you can only do what medicine, right? So when I applied to NUST for medicine, unfortunately, I didn't get medicine because at that time they were not taking like medical students. They took them like later when we done our part 1, I think. So I was given radiography. So this is me like, what's this? Then I just thought maybe something to do with radiation. Then I decided to take the course, right? So after I went to class, like for my first lecture. So usually the first lecture for radiography students, they know most of you guys are rejects for medicine. So they give you like sort of mentorship on what the program is about and what basically radiography is about, right? So after they explained to us the whole radiography program, and also after going to the hospital for clinicals, because usually we have clinicals like during the semester and also on holidays, I got to like the program. So I didn't choose radiography. Radiography chose me.
That's great. That was a happy accident that happened. That was a really happy accident.
Yes.
So how do you navigate, being a woman in a male-dominated, first of all, I assume radiography is a male-dominated field. So as a woman, how do you navigate that space? Or as a young
okay, fine. As a female, being radiography is quite easy because there are a lot of associations that cater for student radiographers, and also there's an association for radiographers once you're done with school. So firstly, the first strategy to conquer in a male-dominated environment, you need to join like associations that also empower women, that also empower everyone in the profession. For example, with radiography at a student level, there's an association called Students Radiographers Association of Zimbabwe, SRAZ. So this association is there in every institution, be it YIT, USET or NUST. So with this association, like it empowers everyone who's doing radiography, whether you're a male, whether you're a female. And also you need to get like mentors and people that you look up to, like role models that are in your profession. For example, like most of my lecturers, they are female, right? Most of them, they have centers in town, which are radiology centers. They have their own machines, and they seem like they are doing well in the profession. So I look up to those people. So if those people did it, which means I can also do it, because they also want radiographer students, like they're also student radiographers at my level, just at NUST and also at USET. So I have people that I look up to and be like, this is the person that I want to be like, who's also female like me, which means if they did it, I can also do it.
Great. I'm sure those who are listening, you guys, you can hear the mentorship that's coming through here. So when we do mentorship sessions, don't be saying, we don't want mentorship sessions, we want Jolo sessions. Mentorship is important. So make sure that when we sing, there's a mentorship session, please be there because mentorship is important. And then I'm just going to ask you, what advice? I know Zimuto High School is logged in. There's somebody wants to ask a question. I'm just going to give them a moment to ask their question, but we have high schoolers who are logged in. What advice would you give to somebody who's considering a career in STEM?
Okay, fine. The advice that I would give to someone who's considering like a career in STEM, I would say, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like in most high schools, we are not given enough career guidance. So before you choose whatever that you want to study at university, you need to like find more information about it. Like, for example, myself, I only knew that there was engineering and medicine at university level. But you see, there are also like medical things that you can study, radiography, physiotherapy, and many, many other divisions. So like, I don't know how to put it, but we need more career guidance. And also people need to find out about other things that they can do besides medicine and engineering in STEM.
Yeah, great. That's absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to find out, my second last question is, it sounds like STEM, okay, any subject in university, like any degree, you have to apply a lot of, discipline, but how do you, outside of, lectures and going to, doing practicals and all that stuff, how do you balance, out having hobbies and doing such a, intense field of study? How do you balance the two?
Okay. Personally, I'm someone who really loves fun. So I don't focus mainly on my schoolwork like radiography and stuff, because radiography is such a profession that is time demanding, because as a student, we
Okay, I think we're losing Audrey again. There's someone from Zimuto High who, there's a girl in STEM. Would you like to unmute and ask your question or your comment or whatever it is? And welcome, Zimuto High. We're so happy to see you. Thank you so much for logging into IND. I can't hear you. I don't know if you're muted but I can't hear you. Please unmute. And please first introduce yourself. Tell us your name, what form you're in, and your favorite song. Then you can ask your question. We can't hear you. I can see you're speaking, but I cannot hear you. Tech team, please help her unmute. I still can't hear. I don't know if anyone else can hear. I still cannot hear you.
Yes, I can't hear you as well. And I can see that they are unmuted. I think it is their network. So what I would encourage, what I would encourage Zimuto High to do, if you can switch off the video for now, maybe the bandwidth will allow us to hear you speak. Maybe switch off the video for now, and let's hear if the audio is going to pick up. So you muted yourself instead of switching off the video. Kindly switch off the video. Great. You can try to talk and let's see what happens. Yeah, I think this is official, Miss O, that we can't hear from Zimuto High.
Is it possible to maybe write the question in the chat box so that we can still respond to your question or your comment?
Absolutely.
Or your suggestions. I think just going through the questions and comments in the chat box. I think Audrey, there's someone here who says they went to primary school with you in the chat. And then someone's looking for a locum, Tipeo my locum radiogram. So if you have locums, please make sure that you speak to God knows who's looking for a locum. Audrey is back, but I'm not sure if she can hear me. And there's
I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'm just going to ask you one last question.
All right.
So how do you stay updated on the latest development and trends in your specific field of study? I'm sure there's new machines, there's new technologies that come. How do you keep in touch of what's happening in your field of study?
Okay, at student level, like what I was saying, it's important to join those associations for radiographers, because they host webinars, they host activities where they let us know what's happening, what is new in our field and everything else that is happening around the world. And also we have to, I usually make use of social media, like what Mem was saying, that we don't have to just use social media for TikTok and WhatsApp. You can also watch videos online on some of the advancements that are happening in our profession. And also you can make use of LinkedIn. And also on LinkedIn, if you join some of these companies that make machines, usually when they make a new machine, there are a lot of technology advancements that they also write on LinkedIn. And then, so just following all of that, that's how I stay updated at student level.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Audrey. You know, you really persevered and persistence, even though network was trying to be a hater, you kept logging in, you kept trying, and we really appreciate you, you know, coming to speak to, you know, our dynamites who some might want to be in STEM, some from now are probably going to change their degrees on Monday, or when school opens, they're going to say, no, I now want to do STEM. So what advice would you give to somebody who's like someone, let's say from Zimuto High School, who wants to going to STEM? What are some of the things you would say to prepare them for that journey in university?
Okay, so usually because people will watch a lot of movies and series on you know, on Netflix and all those things, we feel like university is an environment to go and do clubbing and all those fun things. But I would say that if you want to be a girl who's in STEM, if you want to do well in school, if you want
Yeah, I think we're losing Audrey again. So I'm just gonna give Zimuto High just one last chance to try either unmute or to write the question in the chat box. Can you try and unmute and ask your question, or just try and unmute or write the question in the chat box? Oh, we still can't hear, but we can see her face, but we still cannot hear. I don't know
Can
what's
you hear me
happening.
now?
Yes. Hey, what happened? I could hear, but now I can't hear anymore. Okay, while oh, I see Audrey's back. While we're trying to figure out, Audrey, someone's asking in the chat box, how did you feel about adapting and accepting that you won't be exactly ever taking your path to medicine? How long did it take you to adapt and befriend radiography? Audrey, did you hear my question? Okay, I don't think she can hear me. Zimuto High, can you try one last time? This is the last time to unmute, because we really want to hear from you. We really appreciate you. Oh, okay, here is her name. Hi, my name is Atipaishe Mataruse from Zimuto High School in Form 6. I am doing STEM sciences, and my question is, how would you say universities are supporting girls doing STEM subjects? Audrey or any of the STEM girlies, please can you answer Atipa's question? How are universities supporting girls who are doing STEM subjects? That's actually a really good question. Are they quotas? How are they making sure that they get the right number of girls who are doing STEM? Is there anyone who can answer that question? Okay, there's somebody who's Norma's hand is up. Please unmute. From UZ, you can unmute.
Hello, hi.
Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm fine. So I think the way that universities are supporting young girls to get into STEM is, first of all, the entrance points are lower than the boys.
Okay.
Meaning, if you do good, you already have a chance of getting in.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, like you use it for civil engineering. There used to be like 1 or 2 students doing engineering. That is girls. There's literally no toilets for girls, mostly male toilets. That shows Giti. Long ago, there used to be a few ladies doing engineering. But right now, my class, we're like 15 to 20 ladies. So that's how they're making sure girls also get a chance. Not saying that you're dumb by putting the points lower, but that there's just competition already. So they are making it an advantage for the ladies.
Thank you so much, Norma. Thank you very much. So that is one way that universities, I think I see Coach Nedi is still connected. I would also like her to just come in on this conversation. Coach, if you can, please indulge me and just, if you can unmute and maybe just help us answer that question. We've already heard one solution that, the points for girls are lower. Is there anything else that universities are doing to make sure that girls are catered and looked after in STEM subjects? I'm not sure if Coach is still here, but while she's unmuting, she's wrote a comment in the chat box that says, personally, I would say there's no better career than the other. Understand your vision and follow the career path that will help you achieve that goal. Science is about passion and purpose and a little bit about the money. Never choose a career because of money. What if you don't get the job? That's a very good question and good advice. Doing what you love will help you navigate and even take an entrepreneurial route. So you heard what Coach said. It's not about the money. It's about love of science. It's about curiosity. It's about just wanting to know how things work and how you can make the world a better place. So if Coach is not able to unmute, I'm just going to hand over to the MC. Thank you, guys. Oh, yes, great. Thank you so much for unmuting. I'm just gonna, the question was—
Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, the question was, what are universities doing, to accommodate girls in STEM subjects? I think we just heard Norma say, one, the points are lower for girls to enter into STEM subjects. But on the other hand, she says in engineering, the toilets are only for males. There were no toilets for females. So what are some of the things that universities are doing?
I will talk about heat. Because that's where I was. Okay, I can't really say there's anything that they are doing, but all I can say is when you decide to take up sciences or engineering or whatever program, you just need to be mentally prepared for the work. And also what I've seen, there's no special treatment really. Like when I was school, when we were doing workshop, there was no special treatment. Like, you need to understand that when you go to uni, you are treated the same. If the boys are using the hacksaw, you also use the hacksaw. So I would want to encourage anyone who wants to go to university and do sciences is to remove that entitled mentality that I'm different and I will need a different treatment. Trust me, if you go to the evening, they'll say, I'm not because when I was there, I didn't see things to read me as a girl and the next person as a guy, because we did the same lectures with the same time. Our lecturers, they gave us the same attention, they addressed our situations. I think what is important is to have strong character and also understand why you're doing something in the same place, the first place. Also, you need assistance in talents, like my department lecturers want to listen to any that we had as either both of also to we could create communication, and when you're facing any challenges, you communicate. Do not take spiritual treatment.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to this session. Thank you so much, Audrey, and our brilliant MC. Guys, please, we need to, put emojis in the chat for our MC. She did an excellent job. So I will hand over to the MC who's going to close the session. Thank you so much. Okay, I can't see our MCs. She's still here. If she's not, I will close the session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And thank you for participating. Those who unmuted, those who wrote in the chat box, those who were encouraging us in the chat box, we really appreciate it. Please do join us again next week for another exciting episode of Y&D next week and every other Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your week and God bless you. Thank you. Bye.